I'm David Charvet with Charvet Classic Cars. We're here in the showroom with a 1937 Ford Model 78 V8 convertible sedan. It's a really rare model, and I'll be back to tell you more about it after you take a closer look at it. When Ford introduced their V8 in 1932, it really set the car world on its ear, and by 1937, the Ford V8 was the most popular low-priced car that you could buy. In 1937, Ford produced 848,608 cars in the U.S., and if that doesn't tell you about popularity, nothing does. Over nearly 1 million cars, and actually it was over 1 million cars worldwide in their Canadian production and overseas production, over 1 million cars in 1937. There were 18 different body styles, so you could get pretty much anything you wanted in Ford in 1937. However, this particular car, the four-door deluxe convertible sedan, accounted for only 4,378 cars produced in 1937. That accounts for about 0.5% of all of the Fords produced in 37 were this body style. One reason was the car was the most expensive body style you could buy at $860 when you could buy a sedan for the $400 to $600 range. So it was an expensive car, but it also offered a lot of style and a lot of features that only come with a convertible and only with a convertible sedan. I'll tell you about that. The nice thing about a convertible sedan is you have glass windows in the doors. You can roll them up and down like a conventional sedan, unlike a Phaeton or a Roadster, an open convertible car that has nothing in the sides. You have to snap on side curtains. This is nice because you're out going down the road and you decide it's getting a little bit cold, you want to warm it up a little bit. You can roll up the windows and seal up the car with the top up. It becomes basically a four-door sedan. So it's really versatile. You can drive it in the springtime and in the fall with windows up. If you decide in the summertime you want to put the top down, you can do that, put down all the windows, and you got a fully open car. So it is really, really versatile. And it's one of those cars that you can really use year-round. It's quite nice. Ford in 1937, their styling was really fabulous. They made a lot of changes. This was the first year when they integrated the headlights into the fenders. So it's a very modern style. This car is really Art Deco personified. The headlights are not round, they're a teardrop shape, which tie into this whole streamlined look. Just like the grille, which has horizontal lines coming through the grille, those travel back along the side panels on the engine. So it looks like it's going 100 miles an hour when it's standing still. It's really a great design. The color on this car, it is a turquoise blue-green color, and it's a correct color. It was offered in the spring of 1937. Ford had springtime colors. A lot of other manufacturers did too. This was one of the springtime colors that Ford offered, along with a yellow and a medium brown and some other colors too. And it really, on an open car like this, looks really, really nice. And certainly, if you take the car and show it or you're out driving it, you won't see another one. I don't think you're going to see another one just like this. The chrome is all really nice. Again, this car was restored about 15 years ago. As I tell you this is 2024. So about 15 years ago it was restored. And in 2012, this car was driven from Portland, Oregon to Redmond, Oregon, which is up over Mount Hood to the other side of the mountains here in Oregon, for the National Early Ford V8 Club National Meet. And this car was judged in 2012. It received a second place for 1937 Fords. So it has been a judged car, and it was restored with that intention to be driven and shown. And that round trip alone was 300 miles that this car made just to go to that meet. So it was driven over and driven back. It is not a trailer queen. The paint now and the car itself, again, you've got about 15 years of age and use on it, but it has been very well kept. The paint looks great. It's got a really deep shine. There's a few little chips, insignificant ones, nothing glaring. The paint looks really good and it shows really well. The chrome shows really well as well. The glass is all original to the car, from what I see. It's held up really well. It's clear. It's not yellowed or discolored. I did notice a couple of spots where you do have some delamination because this is early safety glass, and it's a three-part product with glass on each side and a plastic material in between to hold it all together. And there's a little bit of separation. Again, it's not a big deal, but I do want to mention it. If we move inside, you'll see the car is really well appointed. It has leather interior, brown leather, which shows really well. It's held up really well. I don't think anyone sat in the back seat from the look of it. The front seat has some use, and there is one point just right where you sit on the driver's seat where the stitching is loosened at the seam, and it should be restitched at this one portion right where you sit. Other than that, it shows really well, and the leather is in really good condition. Leather door panels, all of the interior plastic that's used on the escutcheons, things like that, is good as well. The dashboard wood graining, the molding wood graining, all looks really, really nice. It's shiny and it looks like wood. It's not, it's metal, but it looks exceptionally nice. There are a couple of small chips on the door for the ashtray. Other than that, again, it looks excellent. The front floor mat is tan rubber. That is correct. The rear carpeting is wool brown carpeting. That is correct. This car was really nicely optioned, and it comes with in the dashboard, both a Ford radio and a clock. That clock is in the glove box door. They have never been hooked up. At least they haven't been hooked up since restoration. So I don't know if they work, but they are present, and that's more than half the battle if you're restoring a car, is to actually find what you want to put in it. This has both clock and radio. They're both present, and they both look in really nice condition. All the gauges work with the exception of the speedometer, which I think may be a cable in this case, or it needs to be greased up. Other than that, all the other gauges work. The temperature gauge, oil pressure, amp meter, all those things do work, and they register accurately. The headlights, tail lights work. It has turn signals that were added to the car inside the grille, so in modern traffic you can be seen. It also has these neat mirrors that are built into the door hinge post, and they are on both sides, so in modern traffic you can be seen and see what's coming up behind you. Transmission shifts well, it starts easily, it runs really well, and it's just a very nice package. I mentioned the convertible top. The convertible top on this car was also done at the time it was restored. It's showing some age now because, like all convertible tops, when they sit out, they get the brunt of the exposure of the elements. So it's a little bit faded, but overall it shows really well. If you're going to show the car, seriously, you would probably want to replace the top, but for driving around, touring, and enjoyment, it's absolutely nice the way it is. So you also have a built-in trunk, which allows you to store things inside. It also has a heater that's in the trunk. It's a manifold heater, which comes through the firewall. All those pieces are in there. So if you want to hook that up and have heat coming in to the inside of the car from the engine compartment, you can do that as well. The engine is nicely detailed, it shows well, it runs well, and it's just, again, as I say, a very nice package. Now I think we need to take it out for a drive.
Well, let's go for a ride. Starts easily, switch on. There we are. It's a little cold today, so I have the idle up a little bit. And we're off and ready to go. It shifts easily. Come to a rolling stop here. Being a convertible sedan, this is really a nice tight car with the top up and windows rolled up. It's every bit as nice as a conventional sedan. It holds the road well and really is a pleasure to drive. You can see why Ford V8s were so popular. They really knew what they were doing when Ford built these cars, and there's no question of the quality. And of course, they have a great following today as well. If you have any questions about this Ford or any of the other cars we represent, feel free to give me a call at 503-309-7729 or find us online at charvetclassiccars.com. I'm David Charvet. Thanks for watching.